And welcome back to day 5 of Conspiracy Take the Crown spoilers. Now, this is essentially the last day of regular spoilers we're getting because the whole set actually is apparently being released on Monday. So how the spoilers will work after that, we'll see. I mean, I might choose to do the entire green, like color by color, or I might choose to just talk about the overly good card, like the rares and mythics that still show up. But we'll see how that happens on Monday. Point being, we've got 2 mythics to talk? Yeah, 2 mythics. One was technically actually spoiled yesterday. I just didn't get to it. Along with 3 other cards. But we'll get to it. We're going to go talk with our flagship card right now for today, and that is Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. Now, Selvala actually appears on a conspiracy card from the original set. And she actually has a story where she was friends with the king, the Ghost King, and she actually killed him so he could be the Ghost King and things like that. And then she got put in jail, was freed by the Goblin guy. And then, I'm just sorry, got a compliment Domino. Good girl, good poopy. She compliment her, so she reinforces her to go outside. Because she's still young, she's still learning some stuff now and then. And that's quite the poopy she's taking. Anyway, but no, we have a new cover. She's a mythic, and she's a pretty damn good card. We have Selvala, Heart of the Wilds, a 1 generic, 2 green, legendary creature, elf scout, 2/3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. Pay 1 green, tap this card. Add X mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So there's a card right there. That's a pretty nice... See, when I first read it, I didn't see that was whenever creature enters the battlefield, that player. That does make it a little iffy, but not super iffy. It's still a very damn good. Let's just look at the stats right off the bat. Stats, it's a 2/3 for 3. That's easily playable. You're probably going to play it more closer to a heavy green because it is 2 green to play, but you can splash it pretty much in any color. The secondary ability, draw is always good, even if it is your opponent. The thing is, this is clearly for commander. And Commander has big shit in it. So as long as you got the bigger shit, it shouldn't be a problem. The power is great. But the problem is you will eventually cap out on creature with greater power. But whatever. No, the real benefit with this card is that for just 1 mana tapping this, you can get, let's say you just have a 5/5 dragon on the field. You can get 5 mana of any color combination you want. That's value right there. It's a very solid card. It's worth the mythic slot. Actually, we have 3 mythics, I should actually say. Going to our second new mythic, it's a conspiracy, Hymn of the Wilds. Conspiracy, start the game with this card face up in the commander zone. For the first creature spell you cast each turn, costs 1 less to cast. You cannot cast instance or sorcery spells. So there's the card. It's got some nice art on it, definitely. In fact, a lot of these cards right now are got a lot of good. Really, I mean, the art in this was always solid, but the art really seems to be popping in this stuff. See, I made the note of in a conspiracy commander game with the other card that not being able to play lands or have lands in your deck is one thing. You'll be playing this, you'll be able to get your lands. That's not a problem. You'll discard card, get a lands. But starting the game at 5 cards, you're starting behind. Yes, you can tap for any money you want, but you're starting behind. That's not a way you want to be. This one's definitely more a playable strategy for you. This one's definitely you don't have to run spells. Most people run spells, but instead you can just freaking run creatures all you want in your deck, and boom. Yeah, so I'm gonna play. I don't know. And it doesn't specify planeswalkers or artifacts. You can still have planeswalkers or artifacts in the deck, so you could easily work around that. But let's just say, I'm going to play a forest, and then I'm going to play this 2/2 on turn 1. Or whatever creature for 2 mana that would be interesting. I can't think of any specific card right now that would be that would merit it, but you get what I'm saying, though. It's a very interesting card. And let's see, is it on your turn? First creature spell you cast each turn. So if you have creatures with flash, like we'll get to one later, then that helps as well. Then our last mythic that was spoiled yesterday. This one I just fucking love. Subterranean Tremors. It's a mythic, sorcery, X and red. and 1 red X. Subterranean Tremors deals X damage to each creature without flying. If X is 4 or more, destroy all artifacts. If X is 8 or more, put a 8/8 red lizard token creature onto the battlefield. And there it is, just this giant-ass alligator lizard thing. Just boom, bursts into the ground. I like the fact because the next creature right next to it is also a lizard. Apparently lizards are a big threat on this plane. As for the card itself, X spells are always something you want to be putting mana into. So the more mana you're putting into it, the more value you're getting. This is value. This is value straight up. So yeah, you want, if you play this, you'll be getting the value no matter what. Even if you're just paying for, because minimum you're probably going to pay for is at least the 5 mana. So 4. So you'll still be wiping out any and all artifacts on the field, even yours, unfortunately. But you're probably going to wait until later in the game to bring this out if you can, and then maybe multiply if you got. If you're in Commander, you got parallel lives on the battlefield, doubling season, anything like that. You get 2 lizard tokens. Do some token populate stuff that you could have a lot of fun with this card. I dig it. But I'm also a guy who digs big monster stuff. Where'd you go, Bup? Oh, there you are. She's just sitting in the sun. Then we have Regal Behemoth. 4 generic, 2 green. 5/5, a lizard trample. Enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Whenever you tap a land for mana while you're the monarch, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So there's the Regal Behemoth. Yeah, it's a lizard. I would have definitely gone more beast, but oh no, now looking at it, I can see lizard. But still. Another solid card. It's 6 mana, so it's a little hefty, but there's ways to decrease your mana cost on these guys. Overall, it's another thing that rewards you for being the monarch, and it's basically giving you doubling of the mana. So even at 6 mana, that's still pretty playable. Again, not factoring in anything just pumps them out like with 1 mana or a creature ability, like Elvish Pipers, the Silver Amulet thing. 2 cards I got spoiled yesterday. We got Garbage Fire. This is a draft card. Reveal Garbage Fire as you draft it and know how many cards you drafted this round, including Garbage Fire, which essentially means, as I've later found out, you write Garbage Fire and the number of cards drafted, including Garbage Fire, before you play it, and then you deal with that. Otherwise, it's a completely useless card. This card is only usable in draft. The card deals damage to the target creature equal to the highest number you noted for cards named Garbage Fire. Again, that wording is just not... I'm sorry. The wording for these cards, because this is clearly a cycle we're getting, doesn't make any sense. Because it says, and I quote, reveal Garbage Fire as you draft it. Note how many cards you've drafted this round, including Garbage Fire. See, the way that is worded, because there's also a apostrophe there, and so it says, including Garbage Fire, which means how many cards you've drafted so far, including this card. So if you drafted 5 cards before this, include this card, you've drafted 6 cards. There's the art, by the way. Some decent art. But then it says, deals damage to target creature equal to the highest number you noted for cards named Garbage Fire. Now, you noted the number of cards for Garbage Fire. That might be what they're trying to imply, but from the way it's worded terribly, in my opinion. I'm sorry. It looks like we're getting a cycle by way of each color. We'll see how the other ones play out. First one we got was the white creature. Then we have Volatile Chimera, another draft-specific card. 2 generic, 1 red, 3/2. Shuffle your before you shuffle your deck to start the game, you may reveal this card from your deck. Exile 3 or more creature cards that you drafted that are in your deck. Pay 1 generic, 1 red. Choose a card at random you exiled with cards named Volatile Chimera. Volatile Chimera becomes a copy of that card and gains its abilities. So I can see that, again, it's solely really only good in draft. But with that being said, in the world it lives in, it's actually a very solid card, especially if you get like a bunch of big ass shit like that. There is some big ass shit in this set, and you're not in colors, like you got somehow some big blue or black or green creatures that you're not using, but you decide, I got this guy, why don't I just do this? Show them before I shuffle my deck, exile these guys, and then turn them into these guys. I can definitely see this guy being a very powerful guy in draft games. Definitely usable. If I did draft, which I unfortunately don't, I had some guy, I had a viewer of mine tell me, asked me yesterday, I think it was yesterday, how have you never drafted? It's great. I'm like, I just never got into it. And that's just the thing. I just never got into draft. And I probably won't get into draft. Maybe I'll try it someday, but whatever. We got a reprint of Birds of Paradise. Not much to go on. Same art as it's been for a while. 0/1, add mod any color. Flying. 1 green. One of the rare green creatures actually gets flying. Perfectly good card in any set, in any format whatsoever. It is a staple card, really, at this point. That when it's printed, it's usable. It's mana. It's free mana. Color of the Untamed. Before you shuffle your deck to start, again, it's another one of these, so I think we're getting a cycle of these as well. In fact, I think we had the blue guy a while back. Before you shuffle your deck to start the game, you may reveal this card from your deck and exile a creature, a card you drafted that isn't in your deck. Now, this is just a creature card. But, X. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of a card you exile with the card named said card, Color of the Untamed. X is the converted mana cost of that card. So this is a tricky. Well, first off, it's a 2/4 for 4. It's okay stats. It's a giant spider stat. It's a little hit and miss because if you drafted this card, you'll be playing with this card, but you also have to be using creatures who. It's all a matter of planning ahead. Because you'll have to be using creatures that you can pay anywhere from 3 to 4, and it's worth paying it, that you can just continually keep making tokens of, that are worth making tokens of. Otherwise, if you just choose this giant fucking thing, it's no different than continually casting the card, and it's a decent card, but it needs to find a home. Stunt Double. No, I mean, it's got, okay, here's the art, because I'm starting with the art because this is literally just clone with flash attached to it. But that being said, it's clone with flash attached to it. A guy attacking in with a giant, let's say 8/8 lizard, sound like the clone pops in, turns into a giant 8/8 lizard, and yeah, they will do battle and die. So it's a good combat trick more than anything else. Last card for the day, Hidden Agenda in Incendiary Descent. As Hidden Agenda goes, you choose the name, basically write it down, and when you play it, reveal it. Flip this card. Creatures you control with chosen name have play 1 red. This creature gets +0/+0 until the end of turn. It's a fire-breathing effect on a conspiracy permanent. It's an okay card. That's it for all the cards today. Now, like I said, they basically said that they're spoiling the rest of the set on Monday, so I'm not certain how the rest, and I understand why they're doing it, because their Kaladesh spoilers will be starting up, I think either a week or a week after that. So, because the set's actually released, I believe, next week. So, I can understand why we're getting it so rushed. But that being said, it is getting rushed. So I'm not certain how I will be doing the spoilers next week, whether it is by color, by like maybe just the important cards that stand out to me, the rares, whatever. But because we only have like 50-something cards spoiled right now out of like 200. I think 200. One second, let me double check that. Excuse me. Yeah, out of 221 cards, we only got about 64, 61, give or take, spoiled. So, yeah, that's going to be a big freaking dump of spoilers. But no, whatever. I'll handle it as I can. Also depends on my work schedule. If I got a couple days off next week, like say Monday and Tuesday, I can just cram a bunch of videos out in those days. But if it's not, then we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who wins, put those in the comments below, too. We get to those at some point. If you also, please check out our latest review on Kubo and 2 Strings. That can be found in the playlist section under videos or in the recent uploads. Besides Box Office Report, I have no plans this weekend for any other videos. Next week is Star Wars video and not a superhero video. Other than that, who would win next week will be the Robin Royale I promised. it's going to be either The Mechanic or Resurrection or Don't Breathe next week. Coin flip on that one. Because I think Mechanic Resurrection would be a funner film to talk about, but I do believe Don't Breathe would be the better film. Other than that, no real plans. I'll talk movie news. I actually will talk one bit of movie news before I leave today, so I got one other video to do. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and